Episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host Tone Vays, coming to you live as the markets are open for traditional markets. I hope the audio is better. I'm still working on the video. I still need a new laptop, still low on memory, but I'm just putting together a whole new workstation using a brand new $250 microphone. And if that doesn't make my audio better, I completely give up. It's not going to work. So hopefully you see an audio difference, and pretty soon I'm going to try to do a video difference, though I'm not sure if Zoom will transmit 4K. Not that anybody wants to see me in 4K, but that's what we're working on these days. Okay, let's go straight to the charts. No announcements. I hope you guys enjoyed the lore review. We'll try to bring you a similar episode next time. There were definitely a few people that I really wanted to join us that were just too busy to join. Once again, thank you for the t-shirts, to whoever sent me these. Still not sure, but thank you. I'll be rocking these as I go around the world. Okay, let's go screen share. Audio's great. Thank you. I'm gonna put up my Amazon. Like, I can't be an Amazon affiliate anymore. They ended my relationship. Pretty much almost every affiliate that I've ever associated with has like ended the relationship. Not every, but a lot of them I have taken down myself due to lots of controversy. But I do want to put my, I don't know why on my screen, my Amazon, this is old Amazon stuff. I have all new tech now. Can't wait to get my new tech up here. And hopefully, for some reason, it doesn't work for me, but it works for everybody else. Still waiting on my new computer to be out for sale. All right, let's go to the charts. We're going to start with the S&P 500. And it's rallying again. Wow, look at that. So it looked like the S&P finally topped yesterday at the end of close of day, and here we are rallying again. It doesn't matter that New York City is burning down, but hey, and I've been like, there's some crazy videos of just straight up looting. It's really bad. It's really bad. We talked about it yesterday. I'm not going to get into politics today. The market was dropping pretty heavily early on at around 8:30 in the morning. I don't know. I guess the jobless numbers came out. It is Thursday. Unemployment claims. Maybe only 80 million people have filed for unemployment instead of 40 million that they were expecting. But 80 million have filed, and all of a sudden the market is up. That seems to be that was the general trend last month. But look, I can't explain it. I believe the market should be topping here. I don't understand why anyone thinks that in the near future things are going to be fine and rosy. There's really only two reasons to be in the market right now. One, the continued efforts by the government to support the market. And two, that is where people feel is the safe haven for markets. Now, for me, while I normally like both of those reasons to be long the market, I feel that the market has gone up too far, too fast. This is, like I said in my last video, no different than what I thought about Bitcoin when it went up too far, too fast into that $14,000 zone, coming off of the $3,000 low right here. So this is my view of the stock market is similar to my view of this. The question is, are we up here in the stock market? Are we over here in the stock market, or are we still over here in the stock market? Now, the reason why I think we're over here in the stock market is because there isn't much room to go before we go to new all-time highs. And for me, TA is TA. I'm somewhat asset agnostic. So the mentality and the psychology of traders is about the same. So I didn't do a great job timing this $14,000 top. I felt that Bitcoin should have topped a lot earlier and then made a monster secondary low. Now, had Bitcoin topped a lot earlier, the secondary low could have easily been lower than the $3,000 initial low. But because we went up fairly close to the all-time high, going up to 14 versus a $20,000 all-time high, then it's perfectly reasonable that the secondary low does not go to new lows. Okay. That is probably what's happening right now with the stock market. To me, the stock market has gone up too far too fast, and it's time for a pullback. Now, that pullback will most likely, I don't know how far it's going to go. Maybe it's only going to go back to this 32% Fibonacci line, though I do have a new set of Fibonacci lines drawn in. This is the 10-minute chart of the futures. If we throw in a daily chart of the futures, you see this. To me, this seems like a reasonable area, either this area here of 2650 or this area here of 2550. These seem to be reasonable areas for an S&P 500 pullback. Let's take a look at gold before we dive into Bitcoin. One second. All right. Okay. Where were we? Let's look at gold. Okay, so gold was rallying hard this morning. So gold is once again acting with negative correlation versus the stock market. Oh, wait, I should expand my screen a little bit. It's not full screen. I'm working with a brand new giant monitor, so I'm still trying to optimize. Okay, should be better now. So gold was rallying nicely this morning because the stock market was dropping nicely this morning. So they are acting somewhat with negative correlations. When one is up, the other is down, and when one is down, the other is up. And here we are on a 10-minute chart, and we might have topped. It's the 10 a.m. reversal, guys. Like I usually say, look for the 10 a.m. reversal. Let's play around with this. I would have loved to see this happen on a 9, but it did not. But this is a reversal candle. And this is not follow the leader trading. If you're a day trader of the S&P 500, do not do this, okay? But right now, I am waiting for this candle to close. And I want to see if it's going to be a reversal candle. Let's do another exercise in how to properly set stop losses. And I have a whole video on this in the on-demand section. I do want to short this for the 10 a.m. reversal, but I'm waiting for the candle to end because I have no idea if this candle is going to be a reversal candle or not. The markets are pretty volatile. Back in the day, I was only hoping for like a 10-point move, but this candle alone is like a 20-point move, which makes it a little bit strange to work with because the low is around 31.18 and the high is 31.23. So it's a 15-point candle. We got 1 minute to go. I want to make sure this candle closes as a reversal candle. But if this candle gets anywhere near the bottom half of that, I would go short in the market as a day trader, as an exercise in how to properly limit your risk and set proper stop losses. If we cross the red line, assume I am short in the market. Now, I am not actually going short in the market. I'm just doing this as an educational example of how to set proper stop losses. And it doesn't matter whether you are right or not. If you follow the rules of money management and proper risk assessment and stop losses, you can pretty much guess your direction and trades, and you should do okay. At least you won't get wrecked. So in the meantime, I'm waiting for this candle to close, and then I'm going to reassess the market. I'm also trying to adjust my screen. And Bitcoin isn't really moving, but we'll get to it in a minute. So here we go. I'm going to raise my entry into the short trade because I know where my risk is. If we cross the red line, I am short in the market. I may still get that 9. But if the trade gets entered, I'm setting my risk, and the trade just got entered, maybe. Let's assume the trade entered. Why not? I don't know. Did it? In any case, my risk is just above that high. Now, this is where I'm giving it a little extra wiggle room for the only reason because we're on a 7 and I love shorting the 9s. But that's my personal. Normally, my risk would be just above the swing high. But in this one particular case, I am giving it a little extra wiggle room. I still don't know if we entered the trade or not. Would have been nice if we actually broke the damn line. But I already said, let's assume we entered the trade. So let's assume we entered the trade. I'm actually going to not have a stop loss for 20 minutes. And because of the counts, that's the only reason why I would not. I would also enter this with a low enough position size to potentially double down in 20 minutes. So I'm giving it more wiggle room than normal. Had this been an 8 candle or a 9 candle or a candle following a 9 or a 1 following the 9 candle, I would have instantly set my stop loss like 1 tick above that candle. But only because we're not in the most optimal counts, I want the maximum ducks lined up in a row. I am not doing that. I am giving myself a little extra wiggle room. And by a little, I mean a lot of extra wiggle room. Only for a short period of time. And I don't want to watch the market the rest of the day. This trade is a disaster. There's no such thing as a disaster if you have the proper stop loss. So here's a short trade off the red line. I have my reversal candle. I have I used to trade the 10 a.m. reversals all the time, almost every day. I got very comfortable with that trade. And it was profitable for me. If this candle ends, we still have 10 minutes. I should check the 5-minute chart. Trading on 10-minute charts is, on a video that doesn't last more than an hour, is challenging. Yeah, see, the counts didn't line up on a 5-minute chart either. But 10-minute charts have always been my favorite. Oh, the trade's already profitable. I will go ahead and move the stop loss to just above that candle. So, and if it hits the stop loss, then it hits the stop loss. But this trade was clearly profitable at one point. Futures markets are very, very leveraged. This is also a style of trading. There is a reversal trade and not a continuation trade. Continuation trades are generally less risky. Reversal trades are always more risky. Higher risk, higher reward. So you can see how much I'm risking by percentage. I am risking 3.8 points or 0.12%. And if I pull it down, $3.8 points. That is how much I was risking. Well, let's be accurate here. Right. That's how much I was risking. So once, or if, I mean, you never know what's going to happen, but I'm pretty confident that when the price of the S&P falls an additional 3.8 points from here, that means that you have now earned more than you risked at any given point. And at that moment, I lower my stop loss to break even to make sure that rule number 3 isn't broken. A winning trade doesn't lose you money. Now, again, the only thing that stops me, and I can still get this, move the stop loss. Normally, rule number 2 is never move a stop loss. But right now, there is a minor exception in that I would love to go short like one of these candles. Okay. I am going to move the stop loss, which also means I'm going to need a bigger drop in order to move it back later to account for that. Because unfortunately, what I really wanted to do was short one of these candles or this candle, or go long this candle or that candle or that candle. But I don't have that right now. But I may have it in 10 or 15 minutes. And I don't mind that. Now I have moved the stop loss up. Normally, Tone Vays rule number 2 is never move the stop loss. But there are minor exceptions, and this is a minor exception, and it's only for a short period of time. Because time matters. Technically, even if I didn't move it, it still would not have been hit, but it's too close to comfort. And I don't mind extending my 10 a.m. reversal by 10 to 20 minutes. So we're going to let this slide. Where do I have my stop loss right now? Well, technically, I wouldn't even have it, but I would be watching the asset. But because I'm going to turn away from this asset to go look at Bitcoin, I'm not actually, I want to have my stop loss somewhere in case this turns disastrous. So to have it somewhere, I'm going to go right at the prior swing high. So this is my somewhere stop loss, only because I want to give it enough wiggle room to get me to a potential 9, which I personally wanted to see on this candle here. You know? Okay, let's go look at Bitcoin. All right, I got a few audience questions. Let me see here. If you look at the last financial crisis, it was 200 days after the crisis started that the second wave down started. Maybe. How many days has it been in this one? Clearly not 200. Well, 200 days from what? After it started, but how do you define when the financial crisis started? So if the market, I say it started with this candle. So how many days has it been? It's been 100 days. Now, another thing I always say is markets move faster, both up and down, with better technology. So if it took 200 days in 2008, before the age of the smartphone, or just as the iPhone was being released, I wouldn't be surprised if it now takes 120 days or 150 days. But I certainly expect it to be less because information travels faster. Let's go back. All right, you can see a new swing high. I'm still okay with that because of time. So I'm going to stay patient. and I'm going to wait for a 9. Now, either way, because I know the markets are volatile, even if my stop loss is hit, I'm okay with that. It's not going to, at worst case scenario, I would lose 1% of my account. That is also another video, another educational video, and you can find these here on demand videos. Entries, exits, and stop losses is what I'm showing you a teaser of right now. And risk position size and leverage management is another video. I need to redo these, to be honest with you guys. To sneeze and mute. Okay, so let's go back to the chart. All right, we have the A candle. I really don't want to see that stop loss hit on this candle or the next candle because that would suck. But I'm still waiting for a clean opportunity to put my stop loss properly. Right now, my stop loss just allows for a little extra time. My stop loss at the moment is stop based, not time based. Sorry, it's time based, not price based. But I would love for that stop loss to be price based. I love my stop losses to be price based and not time based. So we still have 9 minutes in this candle. So I'm just going to let this go and go take a look at Bitcoin. All right, here's Bitcoin on a 4-hour scale. And even though this looks like a potential top, I don't really see it as a top. And this is what you call welcome to Bitcoin trading, where if you're short and improperly leveraged, you get wrecked. And then if you're long and improperly leveraged, you get wrecked. This is why I don't like to trade Bitcoin, because of this bullshit. And I don't babysit the market enough to deal with this, nor do I want to deal with this. So I rather trade Bitcoin on a longer term time scale. And on a longer term time scale, we continue to consolidate. We are still technically in this triangle, and we got to see how this day ends. Currently, today is above the triangle, but we were way above the triangle 4 days ago, and look how that ended. So I'm going to wait and see. It is a green 1 breaking out above this triangle, but if we break out above the triangle, this triangle is not properly drawn because it would not have fit all of the requirements of a triangle. Okay. Now, let's go to the higher level time frame. Higher level time frame is still sitting right at the resistance line. Now, today's Thursday. Your CMF is not looking good. Oh, I want to see the BitMEX funding rate. Forgot about that. So the funding rate is not favoring anyone. It's totally neutral. Totally neutral. No help at all. Here's the weekly chart. And the weekly chart is, at the moment, breaking out. I want to go back to looking at gold. Gold should probably be dropping because the S&P is rising. But is the S&P still rising? Well, the S&P is almost back to my entry. And I really like this. If this candle closes my entry in the green, I will be even more confident in my trade than I was 20 minutes ago. And it would have been, and now you understand the reason why I raised that stop loss, temporarily breaking rule number 2 for those that took my workshop. But I also talk about exceptions to breaking rule number 2. It was broken due to the fact that I knew that I should be more lenient for the next 20 minutes. And also, I didn't fully remove it and say, now I'm in the short trade for the long haul. Okay. I do want to see the next candle. Hopefully we get one of these right here. A quasi situation. going on, which means we can't, well, it'll probably happen. Let's see, we got 6 more minutes. I can take a look at your other questions. How will printing money affect the U.S. Economy in the future? There has to be a downside of the Fed just flooding the market. The Fed isn't exactly flooding the market because remember, there was so much capital destruction lost with the onset of the coronavirus that the Fed has not even come close to reprinting what was destroyed. So it's not great, but and it's pumping the markets, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as you think in the near future. I mean, all of this stuff is cumulative. Like you add this on top of 2008, and then there'll be another crisis, next presidency, and you add all that up and it's bad. But this one particular print, it's not going to affect it that much. Tone, I think you've been shadow banned. Couldn't find you in my YouTube feed. It's possible. It's possible I got shadow banned after our civil liberties YouTube video yesterday with the lawyers. How am I doing on views? I'm still at 650 viewers right now. That's in line. I usually get about, but that's in line with what I normally get. So that's okay. Google tracks likes. Yeah, guys, if you like the video, if more people like the video that start watching it when I start, it gets recommended to other former viewers of the YouTube channel. So hit that like button. We have 650 watching with 100 likes, but go for it. All right. Any other questions? Would you take the trade on a green 2 above a green 1 on a daily, but the weekly being on a 9 sell? Probably not. I would be very cautious of that trade. There are other factors that would need to be involved, but I hate taking those trades. Yeah, you should follow my Twitter account for YouTube notifications. I always tweet this out. And on Twitter, you can set an alert. I don't tweet that much. I don't spam tweet. I pretty much 80% of my tweets are me going live. I almost never retweet people. It's all original tweets. Tone, can individual stocks keep rising while the S&P is going down? That doesn't normally happen. Look, the S&P is top weighted by some of the bigger companies. So if the big companies are going up and the rest are going down, like a Facebook, Amazon, Tesla, I'm assuming Tesla's in the S&P 500. Tesla, what else is there? Microsoft. If these companies are going up, then S&P will go up, even if the smaller companies are going down. But they don't. But normally they all act the same. Yeah, I mentioned the 4-hour chart yesterday. All right, I'm waiting for next candle. Next candle allows me to set the proper stop loss based on price, not only on time. But the next candle would have to end for me to set the proper stop loss. So I'll be with you 10 more minutes. Do you think there will be a reversal in the USD Euro next couple of days? I don't know. Have to take a look. All right, let me look at the Indian market. I know a lot of people watch me from India. You're topping right now. So I would be careful being long in the Indian market. Tone, do you prefer sit and go or tournaments in Texas Hold'em? I prefer tournaments. I usually make, I've made a lot of final tables. I won one in Vegas. If you guys watched the video. Let's look at the VIX. VIX is still making new lows. And Australia, I have a lot of people in Australia watching me. The Australia market looks good. Like it has a little more room. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's toppy here. Let's go back to the S&P. All right, and there it is. We just made a new high. That's also okay. This is the candle that I'm waiting to complete. So this is where I hope we don't hit my stop loss because I really want this candle to complete. I now admit I jumped in a little prematurely, but I am being patient. I need this candle to complete. In fact, I am now raising this again because I need this candle to complete. But I'm not gonna hold this into a new swing high. But I need that candle to complete. In fact, if this candle completes and I see weakness on the next candle or this candle, this is only if your initial trade was smaller than normal and you allowed yourself the ability to double down that trade, which is normally a break of Tone's rule number one. Rule number one says never double down your losing trades. That's rule number one. Unless your initial position was purposely smaller to give yourself the opportunity to double down. Now, all trades should be small enough so that no trade can crush your portfolio. So no losing trade should cost you more than 1 or 2% of your entire portfolio in any scenario. In any scenario. But I need this candle to end. And we have 7 minutes. And I'm being generous with my stop loss because I need this candle to end. The S&P has now gone up an insane 30 points and still rising from 8:30 in the morning. This is how, again, we're using 10-minute candles as an example. But this is how things get exhausted on that last overthrow candle. Didn't happen all that well right here. Big overthrow candle, did go higher, and then we crashed. Reversed once again right here on a 9, reversed once again right here on a 9. I do like my 10-minute candles. And I would love to double down as close to the top of that candle as possible. And then I would set a stop loss right above that candle. So my double down area is actually so close to the top, I'm risking almost nothing in addition to my trade. So you want to keep that in mind as well. What do you think about the topping on 786 on the daily SPX top to bottom? Well, yeah, we're around that area. It's right here drawn in, but we're spending an entire candle above that. Look, the daily chart is calling for more upside. I just think that's insane. I'll be with you guys 10 more minutes. And then what I want to do is I want to double down this trade right near the top, but then set a very tight stop loss on the entire trade. So I'm giving this one more shot. And like I said, normally you never, ever, ever double down losing positions unless you get another clean entry and your initial trade was purposely smaller than it normally would. Why is the SPY and SPX different by 0.7%? It's supposed to be the same. It's only the same on expiration of the futures. You will see it get closer to each other because one is the underlying and one is the future. So it's kind of like saying, how come the spot price of Bitcoin is different than the futures price of Bitcoin expiring in a month? You know, there's multiple things that factor into that. I would love to see a reversal candle here. We never got a reversal candle on the way up. I was hoping this 10 a.m. candle would be the reversal candle, but it wasn't. I do want to wait closer for the candle expiration. Okay, so I want to be accurate here. So if the entry was, I'm going to use round numbers, 31.20. If my initial entry was 31.20 on at that 10 a.m. area, I know I'm giving myself an extra $1. I'm cheating. I want the math to be easier. It's not that big of a move, actually. 31.20 versus, that's 31.26. So where was the high? 31.28. That's only 8 points. Not crazy, even on a 10-minute scale. Got 2 more minutes to go. Any other good questions? Hey, Tone, can you please look at Boeing and maybe, I don't know what the hell AIR.PA is. Okay, now we're getting a reversal candle and we have 1 minute to go. And I was going to look at Euro. Let me look at that real quick while we still have a minute. I'm curious about the Euro. Oh, wow. Look at the Euro rally. Yeah, I think we're about to top. 2 more days, maybe. Monday could be a top. Let's go back. Okay, here we go. With 1 minute to go, I can go ahead and put in a buy order and place the stop loss. So I will double down on this trade if it hits 28 is too high. I guess let's do 27 or 26. I like this reversal candle. Let's do 27 because technically I got in at 19. So 19 and 27, you split the difference and you get 23. So if we hit that red line one more time between this candle and next candle, this double down only applies to this candle or next candle. After that, doesn't count. So there it is. Okay. The trade's now doubled down. I got 8 seconds to go. So now the entry is split between two of them at, I believe, 23 right here. So this is now my new break-even line. Now, 3-tone Vays rules have all been broken. But here's how we recover. This is the stop loss. This stop loss will not be moved. I'm going to set it just above the round number of 3130. 3130 and a half. This stop loss will not be moved. That's it. Your double down takes place very close to your overall stop loss. This stop loss takes out the entire trade. And that's it. So now I'm trusting that that 9 is going to reverse my market. Now, for rule number 1, the only reason that rule is allowed to be broken is because it's only in situations where you purposely made your initial trade a little smaller, giving you the ability to double down without killing your risk profile. Rule number 2, I'm not moving the stop loss, was only moved short-term temporarily to account for the possibility of a swing high of a 9. And rule number 3 has not had to be broken yet because for rule number 3, we have not yet made more than we've risked. So what are we risking now? Now we are risking 7.7 points and 0.25%. I would need this on the opposite side. This is where I would need the price in order to make sure this trade will not cost me any money. Because at that point, that stop loss better be a break-even stop loss or in your favor for profit taking. Tone, what do you think about last dump to 8,600 USD on Bitcoin was caused by capitulation of unknown miner, as Cointelegraph wrote 3rd of June 2020. Do you think that this will matter in the future of price volatility? I have absolutely no opinion on that. Thank you for your super chat. I don't know what sources Cointelegraph has in order to make that assumption. I don't think this makes a big difference. Now, fine, if a big miner decided to sell his Bitcoin at 10,000, what caused it to rise to 10,000? Daily and weekly counts are bullish. That is correct. They are bullish, but I also believe the market is overextended. Tone, what are you going to be covering in your tech show? You know what? Let's get the first episode out of the way, and then we can talk about what I'm going to be covering. Tone, what broker do you use for futures? So I used to trade with a broker that doesn't exist anymore. And just as I switched to trading interactive brokers like 5 years ago or something, I kind of like stopped trading futures as much. So I traded futures a little bit on interactive brokers for like 6 months to a year. But then I started doing YouTube and stuff. And then I kind of stopped day trading futures. So the broker I used to use all the time was very convenient, but it doesn't really exist anymore. But now I mean, interactive brokers, but I haven't had that much experience trading futures on. Can you look at the Dow? The Dow is no different than the S&P. I rather look at a few currencies. Man, it's not as cheap to go to Canada anymore. Even though I can't even get into Canada. Oh, there were a few stocks someone asked for. Boeing. Looks good. Looks good. But again, I am nervous about the overall market being toppy. Now, if this candle, I really don't want to make this video over an hour. If this candle gets me into the profit zone and the next candle starts trading lower than that candle, at the least, I am lowering that stop loss to the top of that 9, which is where it was supposed to be to begin with. I just gave it a little more wiggle room due to round numbers. Though I'm pretty much ready to put that stop loss there where it belonged to begin with. That also means my risk profile has lowered only to 0.2% and $6. So this also means that I can justify rule number 3 right there. Maybe one more tick right there. Okay. At that level, I'm justifying rule number 3 and setting a break-even stop loss to make sure I don't lose any capital of my principal in my trading account. Though if I keep doing videos like this, then there's becomes no need to buy any of my on-demand educational videos, but this is what they educate in detail. I'm going to redo them. I'm going to do them as like live webinars. But whatever, contrary to what the trolls say, I don't really do this for money. But that also means I'm not going to work for you for free. I do it because I like it. I really want to see this trade be in the green before I end the stream. But I also don't want dead air because this thing isn't dropping as fast as I'd like. So at this point, with 2 minutes to go, I would not move the stop loss. That's it. The only way the stop loss is moving is if it's going down. There's no way I would raise the stop loss under any circumstances. Rule number 2 is now firmly in place. Rule number 1 is now firmly in place. I will not add additional money to this trade no matter what. No matter what happens, no additional money is being added to this trade. And also, no matter what, the stop loss ain't getting moved to the upside. I'm certainly moving it to the downside. Got 1 more minute. I'll stay with you for the beginning of the next candle. And then I'm going to have to call it a day. I can leave these lines here and maybe take a look at them tomorrow and see what happened. I don't think there'll be another video later today. I can make them longer into tomorrow. Well, to be a lot longer into tomorrow's market open. Yeah, that should be enough. But yeah, with 40 seconds to go in this candle, there's no way that stop loss is getting moved, even if it gets hit on this candle. Because if it gets hit on this candle, that's it. I am no longer confident in the short position, and I will take the loss. But the double down was so close to that stop loss that it didn't really matter. And that was the important point. That setting that double down almost didn't cost you anything extra if the stop loss got hit right away. And that allows you to recover some of your trades that weren't entered perfectly. By the way, if this current candle gets me to a new low close, if this candle, I don't know if I'll be with you for 10 more minutes, but if this current candle goes in my direction and closes below the red line, I would then lower that stop loss just above the top of the prior candle. In fact, if with 5 minutes left in this 10-minute candle, we're lower than this red line, I would also lower the stop loss to just above that prior candle's high. And I will continue moving this stop loss to above the prior candle's high continuously. Because look how well this would have worked to the upside. The only time you slightly pierced the prior candle's low was right here, and then it still kept going up. Ironically, that was the candle that had me confident that it was going to be going down. But I'm not moving it yet. Remember, I said 5 minutes to go. I would also give it a little bit of wiggle room the way I have it right now. Oil, I haven't even looked at oil today. Well, as long as the S&P is rising, oil is going to be rising. They're pretty correlated. So at the moment, they have been. So if the S&P is dropping, gold will probably start rising. Yeah, see, gold isn't doing anything right now because the S&P is doing well. See, this is the thing. I have a lot of work to do, but I'm sitting here watching every tick. And even though I don't have real money on the line, I have reputation on the line, which to me is more important than money. I can always make more money. It's hard to get your reputation back. Been working since I was 13. I've mostly, making money at like a start. My first job was, I believe, $4 an hour. That was my first job. I really like what Ugly Old Goat said during our 12-hour epic live stream. When someone asked him about a recession, he says, there's no such thing as a recession. There's no such thing as a depression. There's always jobs out there. The question is, what job are you willing to do and how much money are you willing to accept for said job? But there is always a job out there available. The question is, will you be willing to take the job? He's absolutely right. Not counting my illegal job when I was 10 years old, washing car windows on street corners in Italy. My first less illegal job was when I was 14 years old, 2 years below the working age, washing dishes and sweeping floors at an ice cream shop in Brooklyn. So there's always jobs. You have to be willing to accept certain pay, and you have to be willing to do a certain job. What I wasn't a fan of is like commission jobs. I'm not a good salesman. Terrible salesman. I was better off washing dishes for money than, a traveling salesman. All right, keep an eye on your live chat. If the pay isn't enough for food, is that still a job? The pay is always enough for food. The pay is always enough for food. If I was still washing dishes for $4 an hour all day, that is enough for food. May not be enough for rent, but it's enough for food. And nutritious food too. If you're willing to eat liver, the most nutrition at a reasonably cheap price. For $6, you can eat for at least a day, if not 2 days, by going to a supermarket and buying, a kilo of liver at like $3 a kilo or whatever it is. You don't need anything else. And you'll be healthier than the average, well, I want to say the average American, but probably the average human, or anywhere in the world. Won't have to worry about coronavirus either. Well, you won't. I mean, you can pass it on to someone that isn't following a healthy diet. All right, we're still watching this trade. I really don't want to sit here all day watching it. I'm waiting for it to either stop me out or get me below the red line so I can lower the stop loss enough to end the stream. I was born in the Soviet Union, guys. I was there till I was about 10 or 11 before my family left. Well, Venezuela has a different problem of getting food, right? Like if your country isn't importing any food, then you can't get food. Then it doesn't matter how much you earn, right? Like if the supermarket is empty, there's nothing you can do. But if you are in America, if you are in Europe, your supermarkets are not empty. And you don't have to go to an expensive supermarket either. You could also go to the farmer's market. You want me to show you what I cooked yesterday? Let me turn on my camera. I actually should ask my here, I'm gonna show you guys since we're still watching this trade and it's not hitting my stop loss. I'll leave the screen share on. I'm gonna go get it from the fridge. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back holding a giant pot. Man, that stop loss is close to getting hit. If it gets hit, it gets hit. The double down barely cost anything extra. So the risk was low. All right, now let me show you. I'm going to turn on the camera and stop the screen share. Okay, so this was in the fridge since yesterday because I ate half of this already. So I know it looks solid. So this is bone broth. So what I do is I bought a bag of bones from the farmer's market, from my meat guy. And it's really cheap because this is the shit that they throw away. It's just like random bones cut up with enough meat around those bones. And you boil them in water. You boil them in water for at least 6 hours, ideally 8 hours, until all the meat falls off the bones. And then you throw away the bones. But here's like giant chunks of meat right here. And then once I put this back on heat, the reason why it looks like a solid is because there's a lot of fat here. It's like the healthiest dish ever. And this is literally the stuff that butchers throw away. You can buy this incredibly cheap. This is good enough for 2 meals. Shit that they just throw away. Bones with meat on. Just boil them for 8 hours. You don't even have to babysit it. Just put a little lid over it. Add some salt, pepper. I chop up a little garlic and ginger in there, just for the taste, mostly. And that's it. Talk about the cheapest, healthiest meal of your life. All right, let's see how the trade's doing. Am I sharing the right screen? Wow, we survived disaster. Again, I'm trying to leave the stream in a reasonable area of the trade, but it's like pulling teeth here. Any thoughts on steel companies? Not really. I haven't really thought about it. Haven't thought about the steel companies. Look, don't get me wrong. I buy some expensive stuff too that's in my fridge that I get a lot of shit for. But I only buy expensive things that are healthy. Salmon caviar is not cheap, but it's incredibly healthy. And you know what? It's cheaper than Starbucks coffee. You buy, let's say, half a kilo of salmon roe. And that's good for, I mean, I split that into, let's say, 5 to 7 portions. And that cost me about $40 US. So each portion is about the same price as like as a fancy Starbucks coffee. But I don't other than liver, all liver. I think the next best source of your vitamins and minerals is like caviar. But it's way more expensive per gram of weight. It's also very different nutrition, but it's worth it for me. All right, come on. Give me like one candle that swings below. I don't really want to triple up on this trade because that's too much, but like a red 2 below a red 1 crossing that red line would make me itch to triple up, but I wouldn't do it. All right, this video is now over an hour, but I'm still waiting for resolution between my red line and my blue line. Look, there's nothing is in between them. Well, like the price has not, I'm sorry, everything is in between them. The price has not crossed one or another. If I get a red 2 below a red 1 next candle, I am going to lower the stop loss, but I'm going to lower it all the way down to below into just above this one, because I think this is a bit of an anomaly, kind of like this was a bit of an anomaly. So I'm okay with this. So the trade's about to be profitable again. Took a while. There it is. I can talk cooking and nutrition all day. In fact, I would love to spend my day like researching nutrition. People always have this question. Why isn't Tone trading all day? Because I would rather, if I had any free time, that's what I would be doing. I would be like trying to get my degree in nutrition. I just find that to be, the salmon roe keep well. Well, that's a good question. I'm not an expert at that. I try to eat it. I can show you the container that I have. I try to eat it within a week. So yeah, I'll go grab it. Oh, this looks good. This looks promising. We got 2 minutes to go. I'm gonna go grab it. I'm gonna go grab the container. I'll show it to you. All right, let's turn on the camera. Let's send screen share. And we'll go back to the price in a minute. Look, I sent out a tweet a while ago. Let me actually find that tweet as well. Oh man. So man, how do I find it? Tone Vays, Twitter, salmon, roe, oysters. We'll go to images. I know I'm not screen sharing right now, but I'm trying to find. There it is. Got it. All right. So before I show, so I tweeted this out. Let me open my Twitter and let me go back to screen share. How's S&P doing? Hey, it's about time. It's about time this trade's profitable. Damn, that took a while. Red 2, go below the red 1. I'm lowering that stop loss. There it goes. There it goes. Came close to hitting that stop loss, but look, I trusted that the top would come right there. I was hoping the 10 a.m. reversal would do it, but I stayed patient enough, and I gave myself enough wiggle room for the 9 to call the high on the 10-minute chart. And now it goes. And now I have profited more than I've risked. I have now profited more than I've risked. I want to see a little bit lower, a little bit lower. I'm not ready to lower this to break even yet, but I'm almost ready. Come on, give me one more point down. One more point down. Give me below 31.15, and I'm setting a break-even stop loss. By the way, you did double down this trade, so there's nothing wrong with taking half of it off the table. Look, once your trade is profitable, it's up to you what to do with it. The point is, don't lose money. Don't lose money. If this candle is in this area, halfway through this candle, I'm going to lower it to break even. I should lower it to break even already, to be honest with you. Right there. That is my new stop loss. And this is where I start to pray. You see, I don't pray over here, oh, please don't stop me out. Please don't stop me out. I pray over here where I say, man, I just spent 45 minutes in this trade. It's finally profitable. Please don't let me get out with only break-even trade. This is why I pray. Go down so I can set the stop loss to at least the top of the 2 candle, and then I can actually get money on the trading today. This is when Tone Vays starts praying to be right. Not over here. Over here, I have no idea what's going to happen. Here, I don't want to, waste the trade. Okay, so I have to put the caviar back in the fridge. Let's go back to stopping screen. Oh, wait. The whole reason why I went back to screen share is to show you my tweet. Then I went back to the price. And by the way, this may not be interesting to some, but if you don't know how to trade, it doesn't matter where I think the Bitcoin is going. You have to learn how to trade. If you know how to trade, then that's what's important. I know I'm down to 500 viewers. I'm losing viewers here. But this is and that's the crazy part. Everyone wants to know where Bitcoin price is going. No one wants to learn how to trade it. I'm teaching you how to trade, and I got 500 viewers. This is how you trade. Anyway, here's the tweet. So I tweeted this out. Wait, what happened to my actual? The hell? Twitter is bugging out. Tweeted this out like months ago. Okay. But I want this image. Why is it not coming up? Well, I guess look at it this way. So here's the image. I click on the image, nothing happens. So anyway, so here's the nutrition of salmon roe. It's insane. It is insane. It even has vitamin D. Good luck getting your vitamin D without the sun. Oysters have a lot of vitamin D as well. This is also why I buy oysters. And I get oysters at less than $1 per oyster. So zinc, that's the coronavirus stuff. Scallops have zinc. Oysters have a ridiculous amount of zinc. And here is organ meats like liver. Look at the price on that liver. $7 for this giant piece. And I put the wrong one up. This is veal liver, which is double the price of beef liver. I bought a slab of beef liver the same size, and it cost me about $3.50 or $4. It was half price. Veal is just more expensive. A veal is like a young cow, and beef, like you see the color difference. I think veal is a little bit more nutritious, but had I put beef liver here, it would be half the price. Anyway, look at the ridiculous amount of nutrition in salmon roe. So now I'm gonna pause screen share. Oh, by the way, another one of these are my pictures, by the way. This is from Vays blog. And so is this chart. Yeah, these are my pictures. This is my food. This is me cooking salmon. Huh, nice. This is also my pictures. All right, let's go back to the price before I stop screen share. Wow, look at that, beautiful. Beautiful, 3 minutes, and I'm lowering the stop loss to here. In fact, I'm already lowering it to there. I have to get out of this trade with a profit, no matter what. All right. Stop share. All right, so here it is. This is half a kilo. And I eat this over approximately 5 days. So I eat like in strips like that. And it's enough. Because I don't know how long this can stay in the fridge. I haven't like looked that up. And this cost me about, I don't know, about 40 bucks. And there's cheaper versions. But this cost me about 40 US. So if I divide 40 US, 40 by 5, what is that? That is $8. So I spend $8 a day. Though I don't eat it every day. I eat it like every other day. But it's the same thing. So in approximately a week, this will be gone. So I spent $40 for the week, but the nutrition is ridiculous. Now think about, do you spend $40 a week at Starbucks, where you get no nutrition whatsoever? And this is right up there with the most nutritious thing you can possibly eat that is borderline affordable and not that hard to find in stores. All right, I gotta put my food back in the fridge. Let's end the video. Let's go back to screen share. Ah, beautiful. So in 2 minutes, I will set my stop loss just above the midway point of that candle. And I'm just gonna ride this trade. Now I'm upset I didn't put real money on it, but I was just educating you guys how to set up trades based on proper rule sets. If you want to know more, please check out the on-demand videos, entries, exits, and stop losses, risk position size management. I may do a full day, and I'll just combine these two into one. There's really, I have a, yeah, I might redo this. You really only need 4 videos. These two I'm going to combine into one full video. This one I'm going to do a full day on intro to technical analysis, and I'll probably leave, education of the how I trade my indicator. Well, I got to find the proper way to phrase it. And of course, options. Options is a whole new animal, different animal. All right, there's the trade. There's the market. I'll wait 40 more seconds. I would love to see a red 3 go below a red 2, and then I can set my stop loss even lower. I will continue to lower the stop loss unless I see an opportunity to take profit. Otherwise, I'll just let the stop loss do the work. That's how I trade. You guys can trade your own way. All right. 15 seconds. Let's see where this candle closes. Let's see where the next candle opens and where it goes. And then we're going to be done. Thank you for watching, though. All right, there it is. Would love to see it go slightly below that candle. That'll be even more confident, but that's okay. Right now, I will leave my stop loss slightly higher than halfway up that candle. Right at the end of that arrow, this is basically how much I was risking, and this is my minimum amount that I will make on this trade, because the S&P future trades 24/7 just like Bitcoin, and it doesn't gap. Well, it's liquid enough to very rarely gap. So there it is. I'm going to end the video now. We will see tomorrow how this trade has done. If I am to take a profit, I'm going to put a purple line in here. I don't know, somewhere down here. Maybe I'll get lucky. Or I get a 9 to the downside, somewhere up there. It doesn't matter. I'm not as interested as where you take profit as I am at identifying proper risk parameters and identifying proper entries. Notice how I don't have videos how to take your profit. It's all about risk, position size, and leverage management, entries, exits, and stop losses. Though my exits are 90% of the time stop losses. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to leave it there. Gold should be rallying a little bit with the S&P dropping. And it is. And Bitcoin hasn't really done anything. It's kind of just stuck there, so it's not very interesting. I am completely neutral on Bitcoin unless it proves to me that it's ready to tackle 10,000. Thank you all for watching. Hope this has been educational, and I will see you all on the next one, guys. Bye.